Hello students, and welcome to section 2-4, Parallel and Perpendicular Lines. Example 1, it says write an equation of a line parallel to a given line. It says what is the equation of the line in slope-intercept form that passes through the point 8, 9 and is parallel to the graph of y equals 3/4 x minus 2. So let's start our process. It says parallel lines are lines in the same plane that never intersect. Non-vertical lines that are parallel have the same slope but different y-intercepts. So the key here is lines that are parallel have the same slope. They never intersect, of course. That's a parallel essentially means. And as far as the slope goes, they're the same. But of course it also says different y-intercepts. If they happen to have the same slope and the same y-intercept, then that would be the same exact line. So as we proceed, step 1 is to identify the slope of the given line. So the given line, as you can see again, y equals 3/4 x minus 2. We'll take a look and notice, of course, y equals, there's 3/4 x minus 2, 3/4 being the slope in green. The slope is 3/4, and the slope of a parallel line, therefore, will be the same. Step 2 then says, start with the point slope form. Use the given point and the slope of the parallel line. So again, we have 3/4 as our slope of the parallel line, and this point, 8, 9, in conjunction with the slope, plugged into point slope form, if you recall from our prior section work, looks something like this. So we'll substitute y sub 1 as 9, we'll substitute m as 3/4, and we'll substitute x sub 1 as 8. And if we do that, here's the next step. They plugged it in for you, as you can see. So y minus 9 equals 3/4 times the quantity x minus 8. It does say to change point slope form to slope intercept form, and by that you can simply distribute 3/4 such that it's 3/4 x and then 3/4 times 8, or 8 divided by 4, of course, which is 2 times 3 is 6. So there's the next step, and then to finish it we simply add 9 to both sides, and you end up with the final slope-intercept form as y equals 3/4 x plus 3. Notice these two equations, so this final answer and this original equation have the same slope, but they have different y-intercepts. So again, the equation of the line that is parallel to this line that goes through this point, 8, 9, is y equals 3/4 x plus 3. I encourage you to graph this on your own at a separate moment here, or separate time, so you can kind of see how it takes shape. Example 2. How can you create two perpendicular lines? Two perpendicular lines means that you have two lines that form right angles at their intersection. So first it says perpendicular lines are lines that intersect to form right angles, as I just described. If we take a look, drawing two identical right angles as shown, and as we can continue, it says because the angles sum for each triangle is 180 degrees. I'll continue down so you can see all of the nuances geometrically speaking. I'll talk about more in the picture here in a moment. Because the angles sum for each triangle here is 180 degrees, so these three angles, for example, on this red triangle add up to 180. These three angles add up to 180. And the right angle here, as you can see with this little denotation, this little box or half box here, that's going to be a right angle or 90 degrees, as is this right here. So as it turns out, the sum of the angles A and B in each triangle must be 90. Angles B and N, as well as A, form a straight angle. So B plus N plus A must, in total, when you add them up, be equivalent to 180 degrees. And they've kind of expressed that here in the picture. There's a little notational kind of typo, I guess you could say, that didn't convert very nicely. So I'll go ahead and fix that. So this ends up technically being, if we kind of adjust things here, where this is a plus sign. Whoops. This is a plus sign, as well as this also being a plus sign, and this is equals 180. Okay, and then it says form a straight angle, of course, of 180 at the origin. So n technically must also equal 90 degrees. Okay, to continue on that logic, let's go ahead and take a look and see a little bit more in the description. The hypotenuses, or the largest side of the right triangles, intersect at a right angle. So this red side as well as this blue side, those are hypotenuses, and they call them C, intersect to form a right angle. So n must be a right angle, but it also says, so the lines that include them are perpendicular to each other. A couple of added little parts to note. 90 plus n is equal to 180, and therefore n is also equal to 90. In other words, if you do the math, simply subtracting 90 from both sides of that prior equation, you in fact get n to be 90. So that's the math that you can perform. How do the slopes of perpendicular lines compare? Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to take a look at a picture here. Slide this over. And as it turns out, there are two lines we're going to compare, lines L and line P. So line L, we can calculate the slope. It's this red line by using 2 points. This point right here, which is at -3, -4, and this point right here, which is at 0, 0. So y2 minus y1, so the y coordinate of this point minus the y coordinate of that point, divided by x2 minus x1, so the x coordinate of this point minus the x coordinate of that point. So the slope of line L, the line in red, is -4/3, while the slope of line P, or the blue line, very similarly, we can take this point, which is at 4, 3, and do the math. If this point, in fact, again, is 0, 0, we could do y2 minus y1, so 3 minus 0 divided by 4 minus 0. And again, that's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the slope, of course, if you can see here, is simply 3/4. You could also do rise over run, down 4, right 3 for the red line, and for the blue line, down 3, left 4, yielding again from -4/3 and +3/4. In the prior depiction graphically, it actually is the same exact points that we're kind of observing here. And again, because this prior picture, we also noted that n, this green angle here, is in fact 90 degrees because of all the angle relationships that we were able to kind of create and look at. We are seeing actually in the very specific context with the points now denoted and the slopes denoted, we can see that -4/3 and 3/4, technically +4/3 and 3/4 are reciprocals, but because one is negative, we can assess that there's a very specific relationship to be made. First, they say the reciprocal of a number is 1 divided by that number. So yes, 4/3 and 3/4 are of course reciprocals. The reciprocal of x is 1 over x when x is not equal to 0. So the reciprocal of 3/4 is simply 1 divided by it, or 1 times its reciprocal. We know about reciprocals, hopefully. In other words, just kind of flip your fraction. But there's more to it. There's actually a sign as well that's different. So 4/3 in comparison to 3/4. But because we're also looking at the idea of opposites, not just reciprocals, because the slopes of perpendicular lines we can see are opposite reciprocals of each other, we can in fact say that the lines are, or were, perpendicular in the beginning. Because we knew they were perpendicular, we've proven that the slopes are opposite reciprocals. You can actually go in the other direction as well. You can start with a problem. If you know that the slopes are opposite reciprocals, you can in turn then say that they're perpendicular, knowing those two values. So the slopes of perpendicular lines are opposite reciprocals. Opposite reciprocals have a product of -1. And if we do the math with -4/3 times +3/4, or -12/12, of course, simplifies as -1. This will always happen when we compare opposite reciprocal slopes, but also perpendicular lines. Moving on, example 3. What is the equation of a line that passes through the point 1, 7 and is perpendicular to the graph of this equation? Well, noting the slope is -1/4, that's a very good start. As we can go ahead and take a look here, as step 1 suggests, use the slope of the given line to determine the slope of the line that is perpendicular. So if -1/4 is the given slope, its opposite reciprocal, there's the slope again, would be what? Well, the opposite reciprocal would simply be positive what? The reciprocal of a fourth being 4 over 1. So 4 would be the opposite reciprocal. Step 2, start with the point-slope form. And like we did on a prior question, we're going to use this point as x sub 1, y sub 1. And this new slope here, 4, again the opposite reciprocal of negative a fourth. Plug it into the appropriate parts. So y minus 7 equals 4 times the quantity x minus 1. Simplify. And if you do so, you'll have that equation, as you can see, in point-slope form. And this equation can be simplified one more step. If you distribute the 4, you get y minus 7 equals 4x minus 4. Adding 7 to both sides should yield y equals 4x. Adding 7 to both sides, 7 minus 4 yields 3. So y equals 4x minus 3 is the line that is perpendicular to that line. Again, opposite reciprocal slopes. Example 4, classifying lines, says, are the graphs of the equations 3y equals negative 4x plus 6 and y equals negative 3/4 x minus 5 parallel, perpendicular, or neither? So the first thing you'll do is identify the slope of each line. And in doing so, you'll have to rewrite the first equation in slope-intercept form as they describe here for you. So if you simply take this equation, divide both sides by 3, you'll end up with y equals negative 4/3 x plus 2. Again, this line has a slope, of course, there of negative 3/4, so we're comparing negative 4/3 to negative 3/4. Although those are reciprocals, they're not opposites. The slopes, as you can see again, are those two values. Step 2, compare the slopes of the lines. And as it says again, these are reciprocals, but they're not opposite. Okay, neither the same nor opposite reciprocals. So we can't argue for parallel nor perpendicular as a final answer to those two lines. Example 5. Solving a real-world problem. A landscaper plans to install 2 new paths in a park. The new fountain path will be perpendicular to the east path and lead to the fountain. Okay, so here's the fountain, here's the east path. So as it turns out, the new picnic path will be parallel to the fountain path and pass through the picnic area. Here's your picnic area. From there, what are the equations in point-slope form that represent the new paths? So we're going to formulate to begin with here, finding the slope of the line that represents the east path. Then determine the equations for the 2 new paths. Okay, so the east path, let's go ahead and determine using 2 points, 0, 2, which is this point here, and 5, 3, which is this point right here. You can easily decipher that particular slope using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 there, and you can see 3 minus 2 over 5 minus 0, and you get 1 over 5. Again, that's the slope of the east path, and there you have it. The slope of the line representing it, of course, there is 1/5. Computing now, find an equation for the fountain path. So we'll go ahead and do the same type of analysis, noting though that the slope is the opposite reciprocal of the east path, because again we said we're looking at a perpendicular relationship. So if we do that, we go ahead and take the reciprocal and opposite of 1/5, which is negative 5. We can plug in the ordered pair as such, 15, 2. If you're wondering where 15, 2 is, that's right here. Okay, we plug that ordered pair in for x sub 1 and y sub 1, and you can see there the point slope form takes shape, and then you want to find the equation of the picnic path. Because the slope is the same as the slope of the fountain path, we'll use that equation and the respective slope in particular with the ordered pair 5, 6. So we're looking at this point right here. Okay, so through that point, parallel to this line, given the same slope again of negative 5, we're using the ordered pair 5 and 6 in the context, as we can see. We finalize it, and we have the equation of the fountain path and point slope form as such, and the equation of the picnic path as such as well. No need to convert to slope-intercept form. Those are the 2 equations given those respective slopes and points.